Hi folks, this is All the Fruit, and today I'm foraging up the Mahakam river in eastern Borneo, foraging mainly for rare durians. However, in the last days I was also able to find a couple rare nephelium or rambutan relatives. I'm already incredibly far inland. First we can go from Samarinda, which is not far from the coast of Malacca. Some giant wooden ship resembling an ancient Chinese junk for about 300 kilometers or a bit more. Well, then I went overland to the little town of Tring, which, like the whole surrounding, is flooded, so I left it very quickly. I prefer roads to streams. And now I'm in this tiny equivalent of the local bus, and I don't know where I'm going. It was a minute decision. I actually delayed the departure of this thing for about 10 minutes because I was bullying and manhandling the ticket staff who were trying to overprice me a little bit. I think the next time they try to basically scam a white man, they'll hire a bit more stuff first. But yeah, now I'm here up the giant Mahakam river. It's crazy that here, I think we are well over 400 kilometers inland, and this river is still that size. Oh yeah, of course, while you are filming, you are being filmed all the time. You have to get used to this. Borneo is an incredibly large island, and it actually has many rivers which are still giant, many hundred kilometers upriver. The area here looks wonderful and lush and green, but there are not too many jungles in this area. And since I want to find rare jungle durians, I decided I have to go a couple hundred kilometers further upriver. I guess this happens to you when you manhandle those river pirates. They dropped me here on purpose in a flooded village on a jetty currently not really connected to the mainland. Hey boss, ada sampan ke sana? Tidak boleh ke sana? The local Dayak are completely unfazed. It seems that the white man is isolated. Itu? Tidak boleh? Ada sampan? Oh, finally, after I yelled for like about half an hour while I was eating my durians, and finally there is a guy here. Well, at least it seems I can leave this stuff without fearing my electronics to get wet. Finally, with the help of this Dayak in this boat, I was able to leave the pier. And yeah, not really on dry land yet. I have to cross all the village's toilets. Yeah, basically plumbing here means that you drop all your stuff under the house, all your waste, solid and liquid, and wait for the next flood to clean it up. And my feet are completely cut up from 2 days ago. Oh yeah, guess what the tropics are so famous for? So many infections and parasites. Oh, it's getting deeper and deeper. But don't despair, here is the noni, the smelliest fruit in the world. What I'm afraid of is suddenly this road just stopping, and there maybe being just a small path who everybody knows whenever it's visible. Oh, this nice lady carrying 2 big coconuts. Aika! Apakbar! Oh, itu jalan kampung.
Ya, dari
Jalan cantik. Jalan Kampung Banjir. Yeah, the village road is flooded. Tidak tahu. Kampung Banjir. Kampung cantik. Ada buah sekarang? Ada buah?
Musim buah nggak ada, Mister.
Durian?
Durian habis.
Habis.
Udah lewat masanya.
Oh my god, and I came here, even without ripe fruits. Well, good that I brought a bag of durians. So funny. So I left the fruit season. Those scammers might have done me some good service actually, because they should have brought me at least 50 kilometers further upriver. No, they brought me just 30 kilometers upriver. Yeah, folks, basically, yeah, that's something I notice pretty much everywhere on these islands. Whenever it's about boats and rivers, it's always a scam. However, now I'm on dry land with good people, so hi boo! And they have beetle nuts. Let's assess the fruit situation, since I'm now stranded safely here. Those tropical limes, lemons with this typical growth habit. Another type of lime here. But which one? This could be limão nipis, the key lime. Tropical cherries. Some manioc. Yeah, but even the chico has no fruits, the dragon fruit has no fruits. Well, the bilimbi has fruits. What about the sour soap? No fruits. And here the terong pipit. And here some sort of small guava I cannot exactly identify. The rambutans seem to be in season, but the durian tree is barren. Jambatan Banjir? Oh, no. Okay, so Jambatan bisa paket perahu. Okay, so yeah, this is the second part of my palaver with this lady. She says basically, yeah, to get to Melak, I first have to get uphill and then downhill again. However, the next bridge is flooded. And so I need to take a boat on the next bridge also. Well, no fruit season here, so let's go on. And if you say serves you right for manhandling those poor people who just wanted to make an extra buck from you, I'll do it again anytime, folks. Yeah, they think they got me. They think they got me stranded. Well, I'm sure they thought that after some time somebody would come to rescue me, what actually happened. And I think they didn't bring me as far as I paid, because I was so stupid I forgot the name of the village I paid to. But yeah, because for this less than 1 hour, 200,000 rupiah, that's basically the price almost to Samarinda. Well, I don't care, folks. They are not gonna get me in any way. I'm gonna get away from here. Ini? Oh, durian apa? Durian biasa, durian kampung? Durian apa? Let me see. Oh, dalam apa? Dalam putih? Putih.
Ini kuning.
Ini kuning.
Iya.
Dalam kuning?
Iya.
Kuning, banyak kuning.
Iya.
Berapa harga sebiji?
Biji enggak, ini di 150 semua.
Bukan, saya orang kecil, makan sikit-sikit. Boleh makan 1 biji.
Oh, iya. Biji 15.000.
15.000. Oke, Bang. Sini, uang di sana. Well, this guy still has to learn basic math. He said that the whole basket, which is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fruits, it's 150,000, but one fruit he will give me for 15,000. Or maybe he considers this one because it's smaller, slightly inferior. let's pay him and let's open it. It's not that I'm not literally loaded with durians. Well, I had 7 and 8, 5. Still have 2. This here is Turio oxyleanus, a native jungle durian of Kalimantan. Well, this is the normal everyday Durio sibetinus all of Southeast Asia is eating. Yeah, but when the lady stopped this guy, I thought I want to be polite and guess I'll share a durian with the lady. The nice lady invited me to eat upstairs. And also commented on my parang. We agreed on the fact that the quality of my parang is actually crap. Oh, and still, you know, Western people mostly think about the smell when they think of durian. However, the name durian literally means spiny, and opening it with your bare legs, with your bare feet. Yeah, I guess now I know where the Asian fakirs got their training from. Oh man, yeah, he didn't lie. It's kind of yellowish. Now I shouldn't say the word lie because this is not lie in the local language. This is durian. Nice the name for a different Durio species. Not bad. But I wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't for the lady calling out the boy. But on the other hand, now I know the durian season is not completely dead here. The price is not extremely high. So that means, well, either this boy who wanted to sell me 7 for 150 and 1 for 15, either he's not good at math, or maybe they have kind of a slight season here. Oh, what is this nice lady doing underneath the house? Now my hands are dirty so I cannot zoom in. But see, there is a lady under the house doing stuff almost up to her behind in water. Oh, terima kasih, boss. Yeah, and for those who say, haha, yeah, those scammers, they got me. No, folks, this is a great adventure, and I would act the same every time, no matter where they gonna put me, strand me, maroon me. I don't care. I'll always come out on top. The durian is actually pretty good. Yeah, nothing to complain about, but after I already devoured Phaeophyllus, kind of slowing down a bit. Phaeophyllus might not be much, but still. Together with the little Oxyleanus durians, I also got some Nephelium papillaceum. Or was it papilliaceum, papillonaceum? Well, this one doesn't look very good. Well, anyways, it might look like a normal rambutan to you, but no, it's a wild rambutan relative. Oh, and there's some. Mau makan, Bu? Terima kasih, Bu.
Tinggi, tidak ada tempat ambilnya.
The nice lady brought me a couple rambutans. I have a bag full of rambutans in my backpack, but that far up, that far up into the hills, especially. Enak. you do not reject what the Dayak give you. Because if you get in bad relationship with somebody, they will maroon you on an isolated pier. And I'm sure they all laugh their asses off thinking the stupid white man falling into the water. Well, I didn't attempt to cross until they were around the next bend because I didn't want to give them the satisfaction. By the way, here in this lime, there is actually a young durian tree. Definitely not planted, but it must have, somebody must have spit a seed there. Can you spot the durian tree inside this lime? Again, I cannot zoom because of my dirty hand. So with the Oxylianus, you have to open it in a slightly different way than the Cibetinus. Oxylianus, first, it has 4 carpels instead of the most other durian species with 5 carpels. And second, usually it's only, you can only pry it open along the seams when it's really overripe and usually already rotten. So this one, I'll simply have to, oh, and it's already overripe because it's opening along the seams. Yeah, one of the ones I already ate was like this and it was already slightly fermented. This one I could have opened along the seams. Slightly fermented, but not gonna sneeze on a rare durian species which I might not be able to get for the next couple years. 3 of the 4 carpels have developed seeds and aerials. That's quite good for a fruit that size. I'm laughing my ass off. Met so many nice people here in the last weeks. People giving me lifts, housing me for free, giving me fruits. But as soon as you get on a boat, and the smaller the boat is, the scammier. So funny. In this freaking village, they unloaded everybody on another pier. Only the stupid white man. I find it funny. What about you? Okay, the Dayak are incredibly modern here. Look at that. They are they are giving me a tripod. Terima kasih, mister. Terima kasih. You folks have asked me for years to get a tripod, and now, ta-da, here it is. In the interior of Kalimantan, hundreds of kilometers up a flooding river. Now the next problem is, I know how to handle a parang, but modern technology like a tripod and with one dirty hand. This lady back there seems to be cleaning her garden with a broom or some other instrument. Well, there was a joke about a flood in Germany where the oldest grandpa in the village still got into the water, and people said, what is he doing? And one said, he is stubborn, he is mowing the lawn at any weather. And this lady, yeah, it's a mop. She's mopping the underside of the house in the flood. Well, I guess it makes sense. The flood brings a lot of dirt, and if you mop it while it's flooded, the flood will take away that dirt again. So, lady with the mop, she might be onto something we didn't kind of get yet. And also, don't you dare defend the scammer. So why shouldn't they ask a slightly higher price from a white tourist? Well, first, because this is a big company, so if they ask a slightly higher price, that comes on top of their salary. Second, I know so many people who say we'll never come here because it was nice, but it was so expensive. And then I know so many people who got scammed in certain places and said, this was such a bad experience, this ruined my whole holiday, ruined the best time of the year. I spent hundreds or thousands, and now I got here and the first thing I got scammed, I will never come here again. So don't you dare defend the scammers. I'll manhandle every single one of them. And maybe sometimes I'll even record it. So let's see the next Oxylianos, if it's again overripe. Looks less overripe. Let's see. Don't want to damage the floor. It might be an ironwood floor, but still, yeah, this one is still not overripe. And that's how you usually eat Oxylianos. See? Well, this one you could probably have opened along the seams because, yeah, it is slightly overripe. But not as overripe as the other ones. And this is some... I was actually supposed to come here to find Oxylianos with bright white flesh, but instead I found Oxylianos with flesh which is very much on the yellow side. Oxylianos. Aerials are supposed to be creamy yellow, but this is a tad more yellow. The nice family is trying to harvest rambutan for me. Don't let the scammer or two destroy the experience for you, even if they abandon you on a platform with a flooded board on purpose. For them it might have been just a funny joke. Okay, stupid white man's gonna fall into the dirty water, but a stupid white man with heavy luggage, with a heavy backpack on my back, they don't know how well I can swim. Probably the plank is, well, the plank was flooded maybe half a meter deep, but around the plank it was probably a couple meters deeper. Okay. Mosquitoes and scammers, the two groups of animals I cannot stand at all. But yeah, that's so funny. The Dayak in a remote jungle village. Look at that, most of the roofs are still made of wooden shingles. And if you say, well, they are not living in straw huts anymore, well, all this wooden village was probably built with, well, they could have built it with one chainsaw, they probably built it with like a dozen chainsaws, because here they don't need sawmills and other things. The iron wood is just being cut into planks with a chainsaw. That's their standard tool. So just the fact that they're not living in straw huts doesn't mean that this is not a remote and isolated village. I mean, let's see. They have a pier and a Oh, terima kasih. Ada air cuci tangan di sini? And they even have running water. Oh, terima kasih. Not only clean hands, but also nice rambutan. Terima kasih, anak-anak. Oh, and look here, the bamboo stick has a knife attached actually. So nice. Yeah. Let's find the rare scammers. I stand out even more because everybody else is so nice. Correct, kanak? But yeah, that's another thing. I've noticed it not only here but also in other remote. Look at this guy showing me the horns. He is how old? 8, 9? This happens also in other remote and isolated areas, like go into the inland of Sardinia, where in 2000 years they were never completely conquered by the Romans or Italians. The nicest people, they'll give you everything but never argue with them. Same thing here I've noticed in the Dayak villages. The nicest people, but don't argue with them, don't make fun of them. Even if they make fun of you, laugh with them. Because as soon as like the connection is kind of tarnished, like with those boat scammers, they will just abandon you in the worst possible place. This is not an exception, this is quite typical. And the only thing you can do then is to man up, literally show them that you are a man and that you can get out of there without their help. Happened to me already several times, including several times here in Borneo. Then maybe they will not like you, but at least you'll still have their respect. However, with those people here, everything is nice and fine. Rambutan, a trash carton, and even even a tripod. It seems that my way back goes, well, first through a big logging camp, and then after a couple kilometers, quite a lot through more or less pristine niche forest. Even along the road, not everything has been cut. That looks interesting. That might be actually more interesting than the upriver places, like 70-80 kilometers upriver, where they wanted me to pay them. I'll find those short people someday, and no, I'm not gonna make them shorter, but I'm gonna dump them into some really nice and clean water. Yeah, with the average size of the people here, I have no problem and no inhibitions at all to do it. Ibu, saya tidak boleh makan banyak sore throat, you know. Rambutan, especially the old-fashioned sour varieties, are infamous for giving you a sore throat if you overeat on them. Or what I've also noticed, if you're just a slightly bit sick and have a trace of a sore throat, an over consumption of rambutan or their relatives will make the slightly sore throat really sore. Oh, I just decided to give those nice people my snorkel, and guess what? Is this for me? At the same time, they decided to give me this tripod. Tunggu 1 minute. It is so funny that we had the same idea at the same time. Well, okay, the older guy first gave me the tripod, but I thought it was just to use here. And now those kids. Okay, so I guess now, terima kasih kanak. I guess now we are blood brothers, right? I got one nice tripod with a selfie stick tripod. Oh, terima kasih. Bang, itu kaki besar, okay? Tunggu sedikit, tunggu 5 tahun, okay? My Dayak blood brother, wait 5 or maybe 10 more years, and then your feet gonna fit in there. By the way, do you notice, folks, that this Dayak have really short white feet, and guess who has those short white feet too? Actually, until the age of 20 something, I walked almost only barefoot, and that's why if you check the feet of the Borneo Dayak or of the Brazilian Yanomami, they have feet just like mine. This is destiny, folks. It took me about 1 week to find snorkeling equipment here, and I rejected a lot of like fins made out of one piece, and finally I took those with all those moving parts. I hate machines with moving parts, but see, because I took the ones which are adjustable, now those little kids can use my fins. And also for the last over a week after I left the corals of Maratua Island, I've tried to find somebody to give those things to, because at home I have better ones, no need to bring them home to Germany. Also they are quite heavy. And now, yeah, anytime you meet some horrible scammer here, you meet a dozen or 100 nice people. They are so happy. Yeah, of course, we all know, well, maybe the kids don't know that my snorkeling equipment is more expensive than a simple tripod stick, but still, I mean, they got me what you have suggested for many years I should get, and I got them something which nobody would buy them, because honestly those villages are not too rich. I think it's still Kaki Kichil, huh? Kaki Bebek Bazar. Kaki Bebek literally means duck's feet. Tungu tungu, 3 tahun, 5 tahun, wait 3 years, 5 years, and then you can use them. Terima kasih. Salamat siang. Oh, hi doggy. Are you a water doggy? In most areas here in Borneo, all the white people are wondering why avocados are not so popular. Here in the east of Kalimantan, they are quite popular. And here you can see like 10, well, there were more than 10 young avocado trees, but half of them died. But yeah, avocados are quite popular, and they are planting more. Here is the water doggy again, frolicking on the concrete. Look at that, some big sour sops on this little tree. Here they call them Durian blanda, the durian of the Dutch, because they were brought by the Dutch from America. Anonaceae with beautiful flowers, beautiful fruits there. One of not so many outside fruits which have become really popular in Borneo. Another one is this one. And while the sour sop is a giant fruit which, yeah, is quite a lot of food, this one, the tropical cherry, Muntingia calabura, is a tiny fruit. You will never see it on the market because nobody can collect more than a handful. I cannot collect more than 1 or 2 without devouring them. They usually left for children, birds, or people who never grew up, just like me. And they're also quite popular as shade trees. And here, by the way, this is the village's gas station, flooded like everything else. Here you buy the gas, pay, and yeah, most of the villages don't have real gas stations, and since motorbike tanks are usually quite small, people rely on those little wooden things around here. I don't know how good it is for the gasoline to be in the tropical sun for days or maybe even weeks sometimes, but as long as it runs, it runs. And when it doesn't run anymore, you go to the repair shop. A cocoa plant planted at the edge of this house, and down there sweet potatoes. Different varieties of sweet potatoes. Those are sweet potatoes, those are sweet potatoes, those are also sweet potatoes. And those are mangoes. Melinjo, Gnetum gnemon. This might look like a normal tree with normal broad leaves, but it's actually more closely related. Well, even it has fruits. Up there you can actually even see a half-ripe fruit. Yes, and fruits like any normal broadleaf tree, but it's actually more closely related conifers than to broadleaf fruit trees. And see this little tree in the background? It also might look like a little tree to you, but it's actually a cactus. It looks very untypical for a cactus, but actually it has the areoles, and whatever has areoles is a cactus, even if it looks like a tree or shrub or a vine. Rambutan, but this one is not in season. Another guava, another melinjo, some type of longan. In front of it a small calamansi lime. Okay, Jambatan Banjir. Did they mean the small bridge? I can cross this on my own. For this bridge I don't need a boat. But further ahead there's gonna be a bigger bridge. I hope the big one is not gonna get flooded. The only thing I'm afraid of here is not the man-eating saltwater crocodiles. We are a couple hundred kilometers upriver, so yes, crocodiles do occur here, but the giant man-eating males, they usually won't come so far up here. The only thing I'm afraid of are worms and parasites, because as I said, there is no plumbing in those villages. Everything goes under the houses, / in the river, and now in the flood, even the stuff accumulating under the houses has been dislodged and everything is dissolved in this water. Not in very high concentrations, there is no bad smell or anything, but still, I know it's there. And although those are very nice and clean people, some of them will have some diseases I don't have, and a lot of them can be spread through water. Oh, what was this short stuff here? This was some other vegetable they use around here. I'm not very good with their vegetables. And also this amaranthus here. They like to use it as a vegetable. I feel so light. For the last week I was always thinking, why didn't I give those things to this nice guy and that nice guy and so on. And so many drivers refused payment, and for some reason I never gave them my fins and snorkel. Yesterday there was actually a guy who, some beans here, who drove me quite far. It was supposed to show me some durian too, but he didn't. Then at the end I offered him a lot of money, thinking he would refuse it like everybody else, but he took it. I was already... Pumpkins. They have very tasty pumpkins here. This could be something different because I don't see fruits and the plants are quite short, but I think they are pumpkins. I would have given him the fins and snorkel because he has like 10 brothers and sisters, but now it's a good thing he took my money. He can make good use for my money, and those kids were so happy. Fancy things that nobody would have bought for them. And now the crazy white man, stranded on a platform in the river, gifted them to them. Well, if I get abandoned at another flooded place, I might be really sorry that I gave up those resources. Also, by the way, when you look at a lot of the local dogs with mange, dude, you are a ready-made chupacabra. Yeah, the chupacabra is the most stupid cryptid ever. There are so many mangy dogs and other sick animals, and people just make a cryptid out of them. Oh, now I understand. Okay, this one is not gonna be so easy. And no people anywhere. And no boats anywhere. How is this supposed to work? I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. Wait, there is a guy who came out on his bike or motorbike. What the Dayak can, I can do too. Yeah, but if I fail, you guys can cry because, yeah, then you'll never see this video. If you see it, it means I didn't fill at least completely. Haika! Itu jalan ke Melak? Itu jalan ke Melak? Di sana? Bukan jalan? Ke Melak, di mana jalan? Jalan. Jalan ke Melak di mana? Mau ke Melak. Jalan ke Melak. Bukan dalam sungai, sudah sungai. Belum jalan, sekarang mau jalan. Itu jalan ke Melak. Itu tidak jalan. Di mana jalan ke Melak? Tiada. Jalan motor di mana? Ya. Jalan motor ke Melak di mana? Ini. Oh, itu banjir berapa? Setengah meter, 1 meter? Sekepala. Oh no. Okay, they said up to their head. I mean, even if I might be a little bit taller than them, and it's gonna only go to my neck or something, my luggage is gonna be ruined. Ada sampan di sini? Di mana? Di mana ada sampan? Okay, so this bridge I will need a different method. I will need a boat. Let's see if they will bring a boat here or if I'll have to go. They told me access to this village is usually by the river. I told them I already did this, now I want to use the road. But I guess maybe I'll have to use the river again. Let's see what those nice people will think of. Well, for some, the flood might be a catastrophe, especially for people who built their houses too low. Not Dayak. Basically, most people here are clever enough to build their houses high enough. But for the kids, it's fun. Hi, boss! Okay. Yeah, it would be very unusual for a woman to drive me. Not because women don't drive boats, but you cannot trust those lusty Westerners with women, with the woman on the boat. That's why usually it's gonna be the guy. This guy is about half my size, but I am sure his survival skills are 10 times better than mine. Yeah, more or less half my size. Less than 1 meter 50 tall. I'm sure less than 50 kilograms, but I'm also sure tough as nails. A river fisherman. Oh no, and the boat is considerably smaller than the one I just used. Oh, what is this? Boss, itu pohon bilian? Ini?
Pohon uling.
Uling, itu apa?
Sama itu asam.
Asam?
Nah.
Okay, terima kasih. I thought this is the Borneo ironwood, but he says something sour, probably a sour fruit. You can see a lot of snakes on the river. Here, some fruits, river figs, water apples brought by the river, a durian peel, a tiny coconut. Oh yeah, the boats here, they are not exactly waterproof. Basically, you have to remove water constantly. Ada teman baik. Itu orang teman baik. Do I have friends here? Of course I have friends. You're all my friends. Ibu teman saya? Ya? Ibu teman saya? Ya? Bapak teman saya? Yeah, so many friends here. So many nice and wonderful friends. This is basically all my days are more or less like this, filled with crazy and heartwarming human interactions. I just told you it's too much effort to record all this, so today is an exception. Enjoy it. I enjoy stuff of this type every day. I hope my phones are not waterproof, especially not the broken one. Oi. Long tail boat. Called this because the propeller is, well, on a long tail. A little breadfruit tree. Oh, very close to the mango tree covered in orchids and ferns. Some wild syzygium, a bigger breadfruit tree. Imagine if my travel companions from a month ago were with me now. They would have freaked out from all those experiences today. Well, for me, this is not a catastrophe. This is just a normal Sunday morning. The flood is several meters high. Wait. Crazy. That means foraging opportunities near the river are quite limited now. Oh yeah, and here are the local sanitary installations. Showering, going to the toilet, washing your teeth, all in those little outhouses, river outhouses. And by the way, those high rises here, you might think big families live there. Nope, big families of swiftlets live there and produce birds' nests. You know, those things which Chinese famously like to eat when they cannot get bad soup. Bad soup, by the way, is a staple here. You don't need to be Chinese to eat it. The Dayak hunt and eat those bats too. Coconut trees. They're a coastal species of tropical coast in the Indo-Pacific, but of course, very useful plant. It had no way to get inland naturally, but people transported it in inland because it doesn't need coastal areas. So now people can enjoy coconuts hundreds of kilometers away from the original beaches. Que camp, boss, que camp! My driver just asked me where to go. So we are going to the logging camp. Yeah. They could have dropped me here where the bridge is not flooded. Those bastards! They choose exactly the one. And I'm sure that they should have driven me 30 more kilometers for that price. Yeah. Something will happen to them. Karma is real. Huge ironwood trunks here. Are we approaching the logging camp already? Oh yeah, everything looks like bigger infrastructure. I guess this totally is the logging camp. So this seems to be the pier of the logging camp. I wish you could have seen my antics unloading my fat butt from the boat. Took me 3 trials, but now I'm done. Theoretically I could wait here, catch another one of the big speedboats downriver, or I could wait for one of those huge wooden junks, giant wooden ships, slower than the speedboats, but I kinda don't feel like it. However, my riverine adventures are not over again. This guy apparently couldn't cross this barrier of logs with his boat, so now we have to take another boat for the last, 7 or 8 meters. Ah well, the folks, at least the folks are making a little bit money. I don't mind anything else, but I'm so afraid I'll lose my phones. Boleh, boss? Makasih. Hati-hati, boleh besar. Oi, Oha, duduk. Ya, duduk. Boleh duduk. Oha. Incredible. So many boat rides for just a couple meters. Well, it's not a standard procedure. Like normally, if there was no flood, I wouldn't have needed any of those 3 boat rides in the village. Yeah, the only thing I mind is like my electronics, my phones. Oh, that's gonna be fun. First, let's see how athletic and gracious those people are gonna leave the boat. And then you see the fat stupid white man making a fool of himself. So now first the young girl, everything went. Oof. Yeah, but I mean, no, your backpack is a lot smaller than mine. Those tiny boats. Those tiny boats. Tunggu bos, tunggu, bayar dulu. Oh no. Terima kasih bos. Salamat siang, this guy didn't even wait for me to pay him. Oh, by the way, see? One of those ancient wooden junks is just mooring on the pier. I've seen them used for touristy purposes and other things in some other areas, but here they are the standard way of traveling. Basically, you can either use the small or medium-sized speedboats or those giant ships. I wonder how long they are gonna survive here. I guess for quite some time, until good roads are everywhere. And even if you built a good road here, couple months later, it's possible you end up with a mud road because it has been destroyed. And look, guess one of those things can carry as much as what, 50 trucks, more than 50 trucks, plus it can carry passengers, plus most of the villages are traditionally near the river. Also, see how quick it goes. Even such a big ship with some smaller boats, they sometimes stop somewhere just for 1 second. I've seen this, for example, in Bangkok, where the boats on the Klongs, they just stop for a split second. Oh, this one has been standing already for like almost 10 seconds. Well, big wooden junk anyways, that's what I wanted to show you. And yeah, it seems those are called junks because, hi boss, because the Europeans thought that those ships are junk. But in some ways they were superior to the European ships, because I don't see traditional European ships still being used for mainstream, literally stuff on the stream. Now the next problem is I'm here in a logging camp. Guess they are used to white people mostly as protesters, and I don't say I agree with what they are doing, but right now not here in order to protest anti-corruption. Well, guess if you can cut down trees, you can also destroy corruption weeds. Matua, or crystal fruit, by the way, but no fruits. Oh, next problem. Whew. Yeah, and I didn't think of that. You see, I only filmed the second part of my antics here. There were a lot of adventures this morning and early afternoon, like trying to get the laundry, trying for an hour to get money from 10 different banks, traveling about 40 kilometers by motorbike, one of the motorbikes breaking down, checking like a dozen durian stalls, getting another motorbike, entering this completely flooded town of Tring. It was basically like this village, fighting with the scammers on the boat and stuff like that. Yeah, long story short, or long story long, because it was a long story before I even started filming. It's 4 o'clock, and on the next couple dozen kilometers through the jungle, a part of it is really through the jungle. I don't see a village. The part which is not through the jungle seems to be mostly through secondary forest, which has a different color on the satellite. But I don't see villages after this camp. Oh, ha 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 I've eaten so many orangish reddish fruits. Look at my teeth, Hugs. Look at my teeth. What exactly gave me this color? Not a durian, not a rambutan. Maybe the red, the Bacaurea piriformis has a red sap. Or maybe. Well, tell me. Well, long story short, if I don't want to sleep in the jungle, I should have stayed in the village. Now I'm at the logging camp, and the only shop I can detect here on Google is a gold shop. Yeah, that's a thing here in Kalimantan. Even the smallest, most remote little town will have gold shops en masse, and even, well, mass is the local word for, well, we'll have a big mass of mass shops. And even tiny remote villages, sometimes there is a shop which has probably hundreds of thousands or millions of euros worth in gold lying around. Small shop made of iron wood, probably has a safe box somewhere, but most of the stuff is under thick glass. Yeah, and here it seems the only infrastructure in this camp is warung makan, a food place, and a gold shop. So where to stay? I don't feel like sleeping in the jungle. Maybe I should find something here in this logging / gold digging camp. But what a day. I know I could have gotten this thing for 5-6 euro at every little shop in every little town I was, but still for 6-7 years people have been complaining on my channel, get a tripod, get a selfie stick, and I never did. And those wonderful Dayak here in this super remote village, they didn't expect me to pay, they didn't expect me to give them anything, they just saw stupid white influencer is trying to influence without a tripod and eating sticky dirty durian. Let's give him some modern technology. Bless those people. Where to find a place to sleep? You know what? Let's be cheeky like the, well, not like the corrupsi. I don't like corrupsi either. Let's be cheeky like a stupid white man. Walk into the headquarters and ask. Oh, thought it's a potato, but it's a rock. Maybe a rock containing gold, but still a rock. You cannot eat gold. Oh, the mining camp also has a mosque. Interesting. Yeah, this is the timber. Super valuable, super expensive, super pricey, tropical timber. However, there is one problem with this timber. People say once you cut down the jungle, it takes 20 years for the jungle to regrow. But it takes 1,000 years for the expensive timber trees to regrow. So you'll get some sort of secondary shrubby and tree-like vegetation within 20 years. But for those things, they're usually hundreds, often even thousands of years old. Pity. By the way, couldn't force my way into the headquarters. So now I'm going to, the repair shop. Also a guy said on my channel, tropical trees are not hollow. I said in Sarawak most of the trees I saw on ships were hollow. Here it's more or less in the middle. Like 10% of the trees they have here are hollow. Of course it's possible that in Sarawak they harvest anything even remotely valuable right now because they are running out of jungle. While Kalimantan still has a lot of jungle, so when I see that the tree is too hollow, maybe they just reject it, I don't know. Let's see. Whenever there are so many vehicles, there should also be people. Selamat siang. Ada orang? Selamat siang. Oh, okay. It seems most of the cars here haven't been used in quite some time. And also, folks, don't blame those people for cutting down their jungle. For them, it's a lot of money, and it's not like we are not doing the same thing in the West. They're cutting down a a lot of nice forest, even in... Hi bro, Apakbar! Even in places, also in places like Germany, Switzerland or Canada, they are cutting down thousands trees, well over 1,000 years old in Canada. They are cutting down ancient forests in Germany. I've seen this often enough, so let's not blame a country like Indonesia that needs to feed 300 million people when rich countries which don't really need the revenue from the timber are doing the same. It might be sad to see the jungle go like this, but yeah, stop it in your own countries. Don't blame the Indonesians. Oh wait, is this the road we are talking about? I've seen big, nice, modern asphalt roads devolve into literal mud wallows. Actually, very recently, 1 day ago, I was stuck for a whole night on a road together with about 100 trucks because it had devolved into a mud wallow and nobody could move until the broken down trucks got removed. This one doesn't need to devolve. This one is a dirt road, although in good condition it seems. But yeah, it's too late. Let's go to the camp and let's see if they'll house me. Let's make a deal, folks. You house me, I don't protest you, okay? Here, by the way, reforestation efforts by the logging company. I think reforestation is worse than doing nothing, because if you just cut down the jungle, there's a chance to recover. If you planted artificial forests instead of it, it might fulfill some functions of a forest, but will also prevent the real natural forest of coming back. Avas, Yangjang, Nebut. This side could scare me off if I could read. Looks like a really beautiful, clean, well-maintained village. Now let's stand like a stupid white man in the middle of the crossroads until somebody whose pay grade is high enough decides that I am his concern. Nah, rather let's explore their trees first. Diledia, maybe fruticosa, longan, durian. Here's some really huge lemons, and those lemons, they are ripped. Look at them. I found something already a couple times. Interesting lemons. More durian, coconut, water apple. Books, that's a rare thing. Beautiful. Star fruit in the background. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Come on, folks, there is an intruder in the camp, a white man. Pay attention to me. Give me a place to sleep or kick me out. Otherwise, I'll just sleep somewhere. Salamat sore, boss. Ada penginapan di sini?
Di kampung.
Ah, banjir. Tidak boleh. Kampung banjir. Jalan ke kampung banjir. Jalan tidak ada. Banjir 2 meter. Tidak boleh.
Kita dari mana?
Jerman.
Jerman.
Di sini?
Perusahaan.
Di sini di mana? Boleh tidur di mana?
Ada sih. Ini ada cuma
Rumah ini di sana rumah besar.
iya.
Ini?
Cuma harus izin dulu.
Oh, tidak mengerti. Ah, penginapan ada di sini di camp?
No.
Tidak ada.
Cuma ini
The kids have discovered me. I already heard the first bule, which means basically it's the N word but for whiteys. Okay, I'm being offered a standard transport in Indonesia. 300 million people are using it here. Apparently even very small people. Oh, tunggu. Okay.
naik apa from Jerman.
Naik apa?
Iya.
Dari Jerman ke sini?
Ya, dari mana ini tadi? Ini tadi dari mana?
Oh, dari mana? Dari Jerman. Dari Jerman ke Swiss dulu, dari Swiss ke Francia, dari Francia ke Istanbul, dari Istanbul ke Jakarta, dari Jakarta ke Sarawak, dari Sarawak ke Kalbar, dari Kalbar ke Sarawak, dari Sarawak ke Brunei, dari Brunei ke Sarawak, dari Sarawak ke Sabah, dari Sabah ke Kaltara, dari Kaltara ke Kaltim. So for those who didn't understand this is basically my travels, how I arrived here.
Inggris.
Saya cari buah langka di sini, cari durian langka. Sekarang musim durian di sini.
Iya.
Ada musim durian di sini, bos?
Ada di kampung.
Bagus. Terima kasih.
Ini makan.
Oh, the girl keep pace with us.
Enggak tahu kali.
Orang boleh cari hotel.
Cari hotel, ada hotel di sini.
Tiada hotel di sini. Orang tidur di mana di sini?
Di bawah.
Boleh tidur di sana? Rumah ini? Boleh?
Tidak ada orangnya. Itu lama nak dipakai tuh.
Ada orang di sana? Tidak ada orang. Oke, tidur di sana. Makan dulu. Minum. Bos, terima kasih. Hati-hati. Okay, first step. Found a shop/food place. Unfortunately, I'm full. Went to the toilet. And now I'm waiting for somebody to have pity on me and to show me where to stay. The food is fruity and homemade. Red palm sugar with coconut milk and sometimes green peanuts. I guess some green fabaceae, but I'm not sure what exactly. Let's try it. Both are supposed to be sweet. This is some just slightly sweet, very slightly sweet. I don't know if it's beans or peanuts inside, but this looks like a total dessert. Taste, it feels like, it looks like rubbery and sweet. I like this one better. Let's use the remaining light of the day for a bit of light fruit hunting in the camp. Soon, the most nutritious tree in the area, rivaled only by the durian tree, will bear fruits. The chicken tree, because here the chickens, for the night, they still roost in the trees. They're in the trees! Also, whenever I see a coconut tree without fruits, I see a big vegetable. This here, if it doesn't bear fruit soon, I'm sure they'll cut it down. And actually, the heart of the coconut palm is maybe the tastiest heart of palm I've ever eaten. Here finally something forageable. Tiny little blue hairy berries. I always forget the name. Some sort of invasive South American Melastomaceae. Don't like the hairiness much. But it's a forageable fruit. Here they are, the Borneo ironwood. I guess here in this big logging camp they might have a sawmill, but no. The traces on the planks, everything looks, everything has been done with a chainsaw. I can make planks out of tropical timber with a chainsaw, but of course mine are never that beautiful and regular. And they've built whole houses, whole villages, whole towns, whole cities out of those without a single sawmill, just with a chainsaw and a hammer. Another tasty invasive. Passiflora foetida. tiny passion fruits enclosed in those calyxes. And it seems the birds here haven't learned about them, because otherwise they would be gone. It also seems the birds don't know so much about those berries, because they are loaded. Also, since there is no pinginapan around here, there are enough abandoned lumberjack houses. More hairy berries. Big abundance of those. Well, I dropped half of them. Water apple and rambutan. Also a couple manioc plants. Those I use mostly for the leaves, because you can harvest the roots of a manioc plant once at its lifetime, but you can harvest its leaves many times. Oh, an eggplant abandoned here. White flowers. Oh, it's the Borneo sour eggplant. Beautiful. It's not my favorite eggplant, but I still think it should be grown more outside of Borneo. Oh yeah, did I mention that the tropical cherry is invasive? Salamat Soreka! And this lady, who doesn't greet me back yet, is processing the rice, but I don't want to go through the puddles. Look at this avocado tree. It's totally loaded. Some places they're in 2s, 3s. And in one place I even see them in 6s. Some are round avocados, probably a seedling. Another edible invasive, the thickberry. Also some people, although some people in the West say the fruits are toxic, well, I say the fruits are not ripe yet. Hundreds of millions of people eat those, so shut up, Westerners. I generally try not to promote anything that could be toxic, but stuff that's eaten commonly. Oh, here another chupacabra. Hi, buddy. Stuff that's eaten commonly by a large proportion of mankind. It is being declared poisonous by just a couple of people. Those couple can shut up. No big boss has shown up yet to interrogate me. I don't think they get more than about one white person per decade here. Chilies and more Borneo eggplants, and here some basil. Some rambutan trees are in season, but not much else. You know what's good? That the lady was around when I gave the kids the snorkeling equipment. Otherwise they might have gotten the beating of their lives just because somebody thought they stole it from the white man. Here in Indonesia, stealing is not a joke. They don't want anybody to tarnish the village's reputation, so it's good there was some adult around and everything should be fine. Here, by the way, some pineapples growing in the shade. Those things can grow in the shade, but it takes them very long to fruit, and often the fruits are sour then. Here, a beautiful Indonesian hoe. Yeah, folks, a hoe is not just a loose woman. A hoe is also an agricultural instrument. And while they are usually kind of sloppy with wooden handles for other instruments, and also with the tips for a hoe, they will spend a lot of money. I also wanted to buy one, and usually the price just deterred me, but the hoes are of high quality metal, and also the wooden handle is crafted meticulously. For all others, they would just take a branch, but for the hoe, yeah, they take care of their hoes around here. Another matwa or crystal, quite popular in this area. Lemongrass. Oh, hi, again my fan club. Hi anak-anak, kapak bar. Oh, hati-hati. Yeah, my fan club almost knocked me out with the football. If it happens once, it's a coincidence. If it happens twice, I confiscate the ball. It's good that I didn't film. Oh, here, by the way, the mango season must have been banger. Look at that, hundreds of seeds on the ground. It's good that I didn't film all my interactions with those kids. Teens will be teens and boys will be boys. And between them describing some of their anatomical parts and trying to hit me with the ball, yeah. Also, I didn't confiscate it. I decided to be nice to local kids today. Not too much diversity with the fruits here. And also, apart from the sour eggplant, actually nothing really typical for Borneo. All the other fruits you could basically see on any other of the 17,000 islands in Indonesia, at least on the bigger inhabited ones. Which shows you that most of the wood choppers around here are not local Dayak, but brought in from the other islands. In a Dayak orchard there would be a lot more native trees, but those are just normal Southeast Asian and other fruit trees here. Also, almost nothing is in season. What a pity. Yeah, nice. Oh, my fan club. Nice, peaceful, harmonic, little. It's like a village, just on average a bit cleaner. Yeah, to think that those are the people destroying one of the last giant tropical rainforests in the world. It's a little bit strange. Why is it so clean? Well, here is a standard practice in Southeast Asia. Oh, and here more. In the evening, everything like old leaves, durian and coconut husks, paper, plastic, branches, old car batteries and so on, everything is being set on fire. Well, firstly it replaces the trash collectors, and secondly the smoke removes the mosquitoes and also probably removes a couple years of all the people's life expectancy around here. Oh yeah, also did I mention there is no age limit for driving around here when there is nobody to enforce it. Yeah, but yeah, quite a traditional way of disposing of trash. Here somebody is trying something more modern. Old water barrels, in this case not oil barrels but water barrels, sawed in half. I wonder if anybody is collecting this, because next to most of those barrels there is a spot where everything including old car tires is being burned, so I wonder. Yeah, I've selected this place for my night stay. If nobody saves and or kicks me out, this is where I'm gonna stay. Looks abandoned enough, but there is a light, so let's see. It's better than sleeping out in the jungle. I'm surprised the diversity of bread here. Look at that, bread, more bread. Yeah, some Europeans might not consider that bread, but it's breadier than what most Asians would get on a regular basis. Apparently back in the village there is a pinginapan, one of the local very basic hostels. Funny thing is that often those very basic hostels are not much cheaper than proper hotels. Apparently there is also a proper hotel in the village, but 2.5 kilometers away, while the pinginapan is just about 1 kilometer away, and they swear the road to it is not flooded. Wonder if this is all true, or if they just want to get rid of the crazy stupid white man. Oh, worst case scenario, there is an unsecured sawmill. Sleeping in the sawdust might be fun. Also, as far as I remember, it took until the 21st century until rainforest trees could be aged properly. I mean, with temperatures we figured many hundred years ago, maybe even thousands of years ago, who knows, that you just count the rings and you know how many years is the age of the tree. Since we don't have real seasons here, no real rings that correspond to years, so they had to use modern stuff like carbon dating, and so finally it turned out that a lot of those really huge jungle trees are actually well over 1,000 years old, and they're still cutting them down. Oh my god, the big concrete roads dissolved into mud wallows after the rain. If this is my road through the jungle, that's gonna be fun. Back to the village. Salamat datang di kampung. Memenak tebok. Kece long hubung Mahakam Ulu. Mahakam Ulu is the hill area around here. They should have some beautiful cows here. As far as I remember, this is a different domestication event, totally independent from the one in the west. You are a cutie. Don't think about attacking me. Same goes for you, baby. On the end of this muddy lane, there should be a food place / hostel. A little bit skeptical. Well, apparently it's still work in progress. Hi, boss. Itu warung Mas Edo? Itu penginapan? Di mana?
Ya, warung biasa aja.
Hah?
Warung biasa.
Warung biasa? Warung apa? Belum warung? Belum warung? Well, most important part of the warung is missing, namely the roof. Apparently, the place I'm looking for was marked on the wrong street or mud lane. The cow was not happy the first time I came too close to the calf. Oh no. Now it seems I have to go down here. There is a third big one down there. I think I'll find an alternative route. She looks peaceful enough, but you never know. This is going suspiciously low to the flooded area. This looks a little bit like the sketchy part of town. Now let's see. Salamat sore. Di mana penginapan?
Penginapan?
Ya. Di sini.
Di sini nggak ada.
Warung Mas Edo? Ah, di sana. Okay, the young guys want me. Let's see what they want me for. To show me to a place to sleep or just for selfies? Ah well, as long as there is Durian, there is hope. Cari penginapan.
Penginapan di kampung, Mister.
Lebih jalan,
Banjir.
Di sini tidak ada.
Nggak ada di sini.
Di mana warung Mas Edo?
Nah, ini.
Ini.
Ya,
Ini bukan penginapan?
coba tanya aja. Tanya.
Oh. Selamat sore.
Selamat sore.
Cari penginapan.
Penginapan? Tidak ada penginapan sini.
Itu tidak penginapan, warung Mas Edo? Bukan penginapan? Oh, boleh tidur di mana? Tidak tahu. Oke, boleh tidur di sini.
Oh, boleh?
Boleh? Boleh. Oke, he allowed me to sleep here. Tidur di mana? Warung makan? Oh well, at least I got a permit to sleep here on the planks next to the cat. Kucing boleh tidur? Boleh. Juga boleh tidur.
Ya, kamu.
At least I have a roof.
Itu rumahnya.
Rumah ini.
Apa adanya, Mister?
Apa? Tidak mengerti.
Enggak bocor ke dia. Ah, bocor.
Oi. Apparently, I'm allowed to sleep in the doghouse. Oh no, it's in the
Rumah aja. Rumah ilir aja, Pak.
di sini. Di mana?
Tuh rumah ilir tuh.
Okay, apparently not in the doghouse and not with the cat. Selamat sore, Bapak, Kapakbar. Don't tell me they have another doghouse here.
Kesesat tadi.
Ah,
Kesana tadi. Lumpur dan lewat gemet.
tidak mengerti. I remember this guy. Wasn't this the guy who sent me somewhere in some direction?
Mister puasa kah?
Huh?
Puasa kah?
Tidak mengerti.
Oh, tidak mengerti. Tidak makan, tidak minum.
Tidak makan, tidak minum.
Ya, itu puasa.
Ah,
Ini bisa sini.
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
Ah, ya, mengerti. Oh,
Ini coy.
and beauty is running out of the water. Sini. Oh, okay. Hi, Ka. Oi. Okay, I hope this was not on video. This was a very young, very naked lady. No, not this one. A younger one. Oh my God.
Seadanya aja bisa. Tidak.
Oi.
Di sini tidak ada penginapan.
So we decided that I'll stay in those young warriors' house. But over there in the neighbor's house, I see something which they call rambutan. In my opinion, not all of this is rambutan. I suspect either it is some other nephelium or maybe two different species. So let's go through some little side lanes and not anymore flooded low-lying. Hati-hati. Ya, itu rambutan.
Sama aja, Mister.
But from the other side, it looked very different. Rambutan itu.
Rambutan kan?
Ah, yes, of course, there are two trees. Look. Dua pohon. Itu rambutan. Itu apa? Jambu. Ah, bukan jambu. Well, anyway. No, nitla. Okay. Itu rambutan. I got confused because there were two trees together and the butts of the, what is it, Tilenia or something, looked like tiny fruits. And then there was this rambutan-like stuff here. Yeah, but sometimes you have to check. You see something and you... Oh, terima kasih, bos. Yay, tu rambutan. Tidak satu pohon, dua pohon. Ah, hold it.
Dia satu pohon.
So this guy got us...
Tes dulu.
Tes dulu. Yeah, it's some rambutan, definitely. Nephelium lapaceum. Let's see if it's an old... quite sour and clingstone, but the fresh is quite firm. Juicy but firm. Not what I would call the really old jungle or village rambutans. Definitely not one of the modern ones either. Oh, and now of course they want to feed me the beetle nut. No beetle nut for me. Boleh tidak makan pinang. Look at those. This is a mango, so where are all those aerial roots coming from? Also, satu minute. It's getting dark already. Interesting, those aerial roots must be the aerial roots of some vines, because the mango tree definitely does not have such aerial roots. And also here, down there, some river figs fruiting. So, my new friends decided that their friend is an orangutan, literally a forest man or a forest person. Well, orang is any type of human, and orangutan is the forest human. If you don't know what they are referring to the great red ape. And since this guy climbed on top of the chicken coop, now they call him orangutan. Yeah, to be honest, those rambutans also look a little bit different from the modern varieties. The hairs are shorter, but still not one of the really old original jungle varieties. But you need to try. You always need to try. Oh, look at that. Somebody is fishing for fish. But for now, only a couple tiny fish. I guess they want something bigger.